Our dedicated staff is ready to work for you. Artbeat specializes in custom apparel. Call us or order online. Free shipping nationwide. Custom printed shirts are our specialty, and we make sure you get exactly what you want. Bring in your own design or let our team create one for you. Promote your business, event, or club with pens, caps, bottles, mugs, and more.
Creating cool since 1985.
Focus. Focus up. I'm talking to you, Ian Hill and Brian Jodas. In case you guys didn't know, kind of a big deal yesterday. NGBN TV had a sneak peek start. They did 8 hours. 8 hours of live footage from NGBN TV. They are doing a great job. It's unbelievable how far we've come from one show. Not to say it was the Rubio Method to start, but it was. Okay, but now we have almost 50 shows. I think that's what Jenna told me, almost 50 shows. And yesterday we started an 8-week sneak peek. So 8 week of sneak peek. You can find us on Roku and Amazon Fire Stick. Those are the TV ones. And then obviously Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Google, and of course the RubioMethod.com. Welcome. My name is Chris Rubio. This is episode 51 of the Rubio Method. We've got a phenomenal show. Remember, you can comment, like, do everything, subscribe on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and all that good stuff. Douglas Lewis Brooks Jr. Rubio, what's up, my man? And here we go, David Bazinet. I'm talking to you. I know you're going to have some good comments, and we're going to have a great time. What's in store today? Here we go. 3 ways to become a better active listener. I'm not going to lie to you. Monahan sent this video in, and I had to listen to it twice because I got unfocused or lack of focus, unfocused, infocused, disfocused, whatever. I wasn't focused. But anyway, we're going to learn how to do that together because every dude needs this one. Reprogramming cells in your own body. That's obviously a Doc Connor Hogan thing. The Super Bowl is finally here, but big but on this one. The differences of people born in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s is a great video that Jen is going to play for you. Supporting local stuff. I had a great little adventure with my wife last Thursday, I think it was, and I'm going to talk about it. And you guys are going to probably make fun of me, and I don't care. Start saying positives before it is too late. Jen and I were talking about this over the last week, and we're really going to try to hit this one home. And last but not least, the movie theater experience. Is it even worth it anymore? All of that and much more on today's episode 51 of the Rubio Method. Jenna, I'm out. Focus. Focus up. I'm talking to you, Todd, and all of your family out at Artbeat Inc., one of my sponsors from Lewis in Idaho. Seriously, if you guys need anything printed, customized, they do a phenomenal job, and they ship worldwide. They do a great job. Okay, so very simple. Let's get going. Let's do a minute with Monahan. Oh, and by the way, congratulations to Monahan. He's officially a certified police officer. So he's saving this people out in the streets of Minneapolis or out some St. Paul or some. It's a smaller town, but he's doing a great job. Okay, so minute with Monahan. Let's go, Jenna.
Hey, how's it going? We've got another awesome minute with Monahan for you today, and we're going to be talking about ways that you can become a better active listener. As always, I got 3 tips for you. Number 1 is when you're listening, make sure that you're showing positive body language, right? No one wants to be talking to someone and they're just like not really paying attention or they're droopy or they don't care. Show that positive body language. Show that person that you do care about them, and whatever it is they're going through, you're listening well. Number 2 is paraphrasing, right? A lot of times, when someone is telling you something, they want to know that they're heard. So paraphrase what they say back to you. They're talking about their rough day. Pick 2 or 3 things back and say, man, it sounds like this was tough, this was tough, this was tough. And that really helps you engage with people and makes people feel heard. And number 3, last but not least, is don't give advice too quickly, right? Sometimes people just want to to be heard, right? They don't want to, have an answer given right away because then sometimes they don't feel like they're heard and they're just like, whatever, this guy's just trying to blow me off, or this guy's just trying to get through the conversation, or what have you. And to kind of go along with that, the 3B is ask too, like, hey, do you want me just to listen or do you want some advice? I found that that's always really good too. Asking the person who's kind of coming to you with they're going through something is, hey, before we go, like, what would it be easier or better for you if I just listened, or are you looking for some advice? I feel like that's always been helpful. So those active listening techniques will help you, whether you're helping someone who's going through crisis, or they're a friend working through something, or even just talking to your partners, or your wife, or what have you. So there you go. Those are my tips for active listening.
Okay, those are really, really good. And I know I'm not the only dude that has trouble with these because I know I'm terrible about them. Showtime Jodas, what's up, my man? Big time show. Rubio, the biggest Cowboy fans I know. And the loyalty to them is unbelievable. Okay, yeah, thank you for your service, Monahan. Roberson out in Texas says that. I wanted to talk about this one. Number one, show positive body language while you're listening to the other person. I have an issue with this one. Because does that mean you lean into them when they're talking? Because I like to do this when I'm listening to someone. And Jenna yells at me all the time in her own little bat killer way because she says I'm looking bored. But I don't think I'm looking bored for those that are just listening on Spotify, Apple, and all that good stuff. I've got my hand in my chin in my hand, and I'm kind of just focused like that. And then second, my body language, when I'm looking at them, am I supposed to look at their eyes or their mouth? Because I tend to look at their mouth, and I don't know why I do that. I'm not deaf, and I don't need sign language or anything like that, but it's one of those things, I don't know where I'm supposed to look. So we need some clarification on that. And like I said, you guys can go on NGBN TV and go to the Rubio Method channel, and then from there, you can come on and talk with me in a second. I think we got Alex Chris coming on in a second. And number two, paraphrase what you're listening to. That's a good one. Good. First thing, that's a good one. You definitely want to say, okay, so what you're saying is this. And I think that helps us. Okay. Don't give answers too quickly. Number three, don't give answers too quickly because your head is big and you need help holding it up. Ed McAndrew, sub 68, you're telling me my head is too big? Size comparison, your head is, what is it? It's got to be a fourth of the size of your body. And don't get me wrong, my head is huge. I'm not even allowed to wear hats because my head is so big. My wife says I look like I work at Hot Dog on a Stick. Either that or have like a yarmulke on, and I'm not Jewish, so that would be kind of odd, even though I have wore a yarmulke once when I went to bar mitzvah. That was a great story. I think I've told it here before. Bottom line, I almost broke. There's like a glass tube that comes around, and you have to tap it. I think it's got their Bible in it, Torah, something like that, and I almost broke it. I didn't know what the hell was happening. So number one, show positive body language while you're listening to the other person. Paraphrase what you're listening to, and don't give answers too quickly. Remember, if you want to come on the show with me, you can go to NGBN TV, search the Rubio Method channel, and then boom, there's going to be a nice little yellow button. You click on that, and they're going to send you into the back, and you're going to be coming on with me live. There it is, right there. Looks beautiful. I thought we were going to make that into a sweatshirt, Jenna. Well, we need to work on that. Before we got anyone guest coming on, let's go to what's up, Doc, from my favorite Irish Dr. Connor Hogan. He's got a wild one today. Go ahead, Jenna.
Rubio, the Cold Springs Harbor Laboratory in New York, has come up with some research with regard to anti-aging. How does this affect us? Men and women, but men. Listen to this one. There's T cells within our body that they can reprogram now so that it goes against the other cells that these kind of interact with. And those other cells are ones that create the aging conditions and even diseases that often affect us. And so we look older. So we can reprogram ourselves now through the cells that are within us. This is what's coming out in the new science. Believe it or not.
Am I the only one that gets intimidated by Doc's, number one, his fantastic accent, and number two, everything he talks about, it hurts my brain a little bit because he's so smart and he's doing these studies. God knows who's reading these studies besides him and some other people at NASA. But every single study that he talks about makes me nervous because it's so beyond me. So he's talking about anti-aging cells can be reprogrammed. Showtime to AC Sports Live coming on live tonight at, I think it's 9 p.m. Pacific time. You definitely want to check that out. The size of one's brain matters. Yeah, I guess it does, Gru. But how are you reprogramming these cells? Like, what are they doing? Are they shooting you with some sort of venom? Are you watching something? Are you doing like my buddy Guy out in Canada? He does these binaural beats where he listens to one thing in one ear, one in the other. What's happening? Or is it like one of those Elon Musk things where Elon wants to put something in your brain and it's going to teach people that are like paralyzed how to rewalk and think and going to go against dementia? I don't know. It kind of hurts my head. I'm very into it. And I know a lot of people would be into it for the anti-aging and all that stuff, which brings me to, my point that I've said before on the show. Everyone gets older. It's okay. Let's just kind of ride with it. I mean, like I said, my wife wants me to make my goatee all black. And at this point, I think I'm on camera enough now where it'd be kind of odd if all of a sudden next day I look like, Jerry Lewis in his prime when all of a sudden he's going full black and he's got, he's 97 years old. It's kind of weird. If you don't know who Jerry Lewis is, you got problems. You need to search it up. We're going to come back. We're going to go hear some main topics of the rundown with Rubio, basically on steroids. And then we're going to have some visitor call-ins, video ins and all that stuff. But before that, let's go to commercial, Jenna. Let's go.
You have been watching The Rubio Method, a show on the NGBN.TV network.
We cannot wait any longer. Men are in need of community, brotherhood, and a place to call home. The time is now, and that place is NGBN TV. Powered by men just like you, dedicated to launching a one-of-a-kind streaming TV network for men in their 40s, 50s, and 60s. Our goal is to inspire, entertain, celebrate, educate, and support men. The NGBN TV sneak peek is launching January 29th. We need you on this journey with us. Ad rates at NGBN TV will never be this low again. So join our movement on NGBN.TV and contact us today. NGBN TV, a network for men in their 40s, 50s, and 60s. Coming January 29th.
Let's get going, gang.
Our dedicated staff is ready to work for you. ArtBeat specializes in custom apparel. Call us or order online. Free shipping nationwide. Custom printed shirts are our specialty, and we make sure you get exactly what you want. Bring in your own design or let our team create one for you. Promote your business, event, or club with pens, caps, bottles, mugs, and more.
Creating cool since 1985.
Hey, it's AC of AC Sports Live, an interactive sports talk show where your comments are part of the show. Every show we focus on the sports stories of today, with commentary on sports takes, my 2 cents, which is a reaction to my social media feed, Sports Flicks, where we take a look at sports movies and give a quick review. We have a segment called Mental Reps, where we have words of inspiration to help battle the dark side of men's mental health. And then there's the Tender Love Report. Who's being soft or petty in the world of sports? Streaming live on the NGBN TV network, Roku, Amazon Fire, and other social media platforms. All takes are welcome under one condition. Say it with your chest. I'll see you there.
Focus up. I'm talking to you, Anthony Cobbs. I know I said Cobb for about 30 years, of AC Sports Live. He's another great show on the NGBN TV network. He'll be on tonight, 9 p.m. Pacific, AC Sports Live. You can find him on the network, obviously, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, all those. I think he's even on Twitch. I don't even know what that is, but I know he's on there as well. He does a great show, very interactive, and he's like very smooth. Before we start getting into the topics, let's bring on Alex Chris. He's going to be our first video caller. Remember, you can go to NGBN TV, click on the Rubio Method. There'll be a yellow button that Jenna showed you earlier, and you come on live. Let's go.
Hello.
Gru, are you wearing a yellow sweatshirt in honor of me?
Yep.
Hell yes. Oh, I hope Sub 60 Ed's watching because he'll be so pissed off with his big dome. That's so great. I love it. Are you going to wear it tonight on Decades?
Yes.
Fantastic. We also have Decades coming on tonight at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. That's a great show that I host, and we're just going to have a good time. We're going to discuss a bunch of topics. Gru, since you're a dude, okay, you're in your 50s, what did you think about that Minute with Monahan? about him listening. Do you follow those three? Are you bad at those? Are you as bad as I am?
I try to follow. I don't always do it, but I try to follow, and I like his message, And one day I wish I meet him and we smoke cigars.
Wait, what did you say? I can't see when you get fired up. Your accent gets thicker, and I can't understand you. But I love when you do get fired
up. One day, I wish I meet Monahan and we smoke cigars together.
Yes, he would be. You would love Monahan. Like I always say, he is like a nice Labrador puppy on speed. If you've ever seen a Labrador puppy, how hyper they are, and then you drop a little bit of speed into the water. I think speed is that you don't smoke speed, do you? It's not a drug show. I don't know what's going on there.
No, I don't.
So you think you're pretty good about those? The listening with Monahan?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what about the Sub 60 Ed says, oh no, Gru has drunk the Kool-Aid. No. Fantastic. I want everyone in yellow sweatshirts.
It's a yellow sweatshirt that has Borussia Dortmund, which is like a Bundesliga soccer team. It's their actually sweatshirt. It has a logo.
A soccer team. That's one of my bucket lists. I want to go to Europe and I want to watch. Is it a soccer game, a soccer match? I don't know. Is it a soccer match?
Yeah, you would need to go like let's say September through May because the league is off in the summertime, so you won't be able to watch.
I want to go to the one where they're setting fire to people in the stands and they're cheering so hard and they do like those yellow smoke bombs.
Yeah,
I want to see those.
You can go to any big stadium like I don't know Barcelona, Madrid. Munich, Milan, where those big teams play and they always have some kind of stuff,
I think I would base it completely off who has the best food because I have a buddy that's German and I wanted to go with him to Germany, but their food is not good in my opinion. And I think if you're going for like the snack stands, I'm assuming they have concession booths. I don't want like a bratwurst. Well, bratwurst is pretty damn good.
Well, I never been to a soccer match in Europe, tell you the truth, but just to be at the stadium would be a great experience, regardless of what food is. You can eat before or after match. You don't need to have food, during the game. You can have beers, if you're with friends, you have a good time. That's what matters.
Well, speak for yourself, Drew. Some of us are over 200 pounds, and we'd like to eat during the match.
Well, I'm on a diet. I'm joking.
Last one, Gru, before I let you go. What did you think about Doc Hogan's thing about re-engineering your cells?
Well, I think, in my opinion, people should try to re-engineer themselves if it is to their benefit. Don't always listen to some advice if it doesn't work for you. That's my opinion. Okay.
I got you. Gru, thanks for coming on. I've got Jodas coming up right now. Let's go, Jodas.
I got a lot of notes. I got a lot of things to talk about.
Okay, it's your show, Jodas. You just go. You tell me what we're going to talk about because I've got.
We're checking in from the Pick Up the Six studios after 8 hours. 8 hours of broadcasting yesterday with Ian Hill to launch this thing, which was
awesome,
incredible. Okay, you don't like turkey on Thanksgiving. You don't like
trash.
What do you like?
I like anything that involves red sauce. I like flavor. So that's all you need to know is I like flavor. Okay. I don't like any food that is gray or has lack of color. If you've ever been to like the Hoffer House in Vegas or anywhere, it looks like a gray crayon mixed with a brown crayon and took a dump on your food. That's all it looks like. There's no flavor to it at all. One time I even said, can I order a Domino's pizza to the Hoffer House just so that has some sort of color and flavor? So there's that. Is that good enough answer for you? Now you got
look. It gives me something to think about as we prepare our meals for when we're going to be in Vegas together for the Super Bowl next week. So I'll be prepping based on Mr. Rubio's palate to ensure there's
AC are going to have like a cook-off, right?
Yeah, it's going to be basically chopped kitchen at the NGBN.
Okay, so for those that don't know, NGBN, along with Sideline Sports, has been offered. We got approved to be on Media Row, the radio row. I'm not exactly sure what exactly the term is.
We're going to be on some row. We're going
to be on some sort of row. Could be restaurant row now. Were you guys there? And we're going to be at the Super Bowl. And so Jodash's Pick Up the Six, the Rubio Method, and AC Sports Live are the 3 shows that got approved. And we're going to be on Media Radio Row at the Super Bowl Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, shooting live content all 3 days. I mean, our shows are going to be on at certain times, but we're going to then just be navigating the crowd, grabbing this person. Hey, let's come talk to me. Let's talk to Jodas. Let's do this. And it's going to be a wild, wild time. Jodas, are you excited for that as I am?
Bro, I'm pumped. Can't wait. I mean, think about this. yesterday for 8 hours, we sneak peek launched this incredible network to serve men in their 40s, 50s, and 60s. 1 week later, we'll be touching down in Las Vegas for the biggest sporting event of the year, the Super Bowl. All eyes are on Vegas for the Super Bowl. So it's basically Taylor Swift, NGBN. That's the storyline of the week. Everybody gets it. Schefter's pumped. I saw him tweeting about us. So the whole thing's going to be phenomenal. Can't wait.
I'm very, very excited about. Speaking of the Super Bowl, Kansas City Chiefs and San Francisco 49ers. Is this the matchup you wanted, or did I personally think no one in the world wanted this matchup?
Yeah, I mean,
besides TV.
I got to give the Chiefs credit. They're sort of leaning into this villain role like never before because everybody kind of loved the Chiefs for all these years, and Mahomes and all this was fun. Now it's a lot in your face with all the theatrics of what's happening in the press box and all that. So everybody's kind of soured on the Chiefs a little bit. I like this Niners team, right? Mr. Irrelevant, Brock Purdy, Iowa State, last pick of the draft. Like Shanahan, like CMC. So I'm probably pulling for the Niners. I got no problem with the Niners being there. I wanted to see the Ravens get in, but I like the idea of seeing Lamar on the big stage. But, man, they pooped down their leg the other day. So this is the way it's meant to be, I suppose. Some might tell you it's scripted. I don't know. I don't know that I buy into all that. But, man, I was also pulling for the Lions, too. What a story.
How could you not pull for the Lions? And that's one of the things I wanted to talk about with the Lions. Everyone's pulling for them. He's a coach that everyone wants to play for, but the dude's got to throttle back on the fourth downs. I mean, I understand there's a thing about going for it, but there's also a thing about leaning into what momentum you have and how big you played sports. Momentum in sports is a huge thing. I've seen, teams that I was on where we're up by 30 and all of a sudden there's like a punt block or, a field goal miss or something like that. And the momentum shifts and you can almost feel it in the crowd where it's like, whoa, like you're in a vortex and then nothing you do goes right. And everything they do goes wrong or correct. And it's just wild. I mean,
he was also inconsistent.
Lost that game.
He was inconsistent in his aggressiveness in some of those opportunities. And so especially when it's early in the game, halftime adjustments are coming. Look, I know you can feel like you can throw a knockout punch to go a big before the half, but you also could be up 17, I think, right before the break.
Three scores.
Right? Take the points.
I mean, that was one of those where I was like, okay, dude, I get it. But then there's so many great memes going around on X right now of just, he's Dan Campbell's the guy that would hit on 21 if he allowed him to in Vegas. It's like, just come on, dude. It's so bad. What is your thoughts? Is Lamar played like trash?
Yeah, he played. I mean, here's the problem with him, man. Like, so he's about to be a 2-time MVP in a matter of days.
Yeah, that was my question. Do you think he deserves it now?
Well, I think, the MVP is given based on the regular season, right? You can't really, it's hard not to judge that. But here's the thing. He's the MVP in the regular season, and all his team needs him to do in that game is just be that. Not anything more, even maybe just a little less. But he was like 4 levels down from the way he usually plays. It got to be maddening if you're a Ravens fan because that team was really good, playing incredibly well. And it's like, just be who you are, man. But he's got a track record now and a reputation when he gets into the playoffs. It drops substantially. And so you've got to look around and you also have to think like, dude, they're a very good team. Reason to believe they should be right back in the mix next year. But Kansas City's clearly not going anywhere, right? Yeah. Obviously, you get a healthy quarterback in Cleveland, in Deshaun Watson, that defense, they could be back, right? The Bills still have everybody. They got some things to figure out, but they could be back. San Diego, LA, is going to absolutely be better with Harbaugh on day one. So just, man, the field, healthy Joe Burrow, what does Cincinnati do? The field in the AFC gets so tight. You just wonder, you don't have that many chances at this kind of thing. So I don't know. He's got a lot. David
Bazinet says, don't like how Mahomes and Kelsey kicked Turner's footballs and helmet. Yeah, but that's actually Justin Turner's fault. There's no need for him to be at the goal line. I admit it. To me, Kelsey, he's the heel of WWF, or that's the way I grew it up. Not WWE, And then Roberson saying that pass Lamar caught himself was insane. Yeah, it shouldn't have been tipped. It was
I watched the beginning of that game. It was like, pow, pow, and I'm like, dude, we are shaping up for an epic throwdown. Then they scored 3 combined points in the second half. Like, what happened?
Yeah, just not a good thing. But remember, guys, if you're coming on NGBN TV / the Rubio Method channel and hitting that yellow button and coming on, as soon as you get on, they're going to talk to you in the back. Jenna and Chastity are going to talk to you in the back and say, hey, okay, who are you? Where are you from? And then you're going to be able to come on live with me. And we're going to talk about whatever you want to talk about. I got a whole list of things that I want to talk about, and we're going to hit those. But before we let Brian go, Brian, tell us a little bit about Pick Up the Six.
Oh, man, thanks for the opportunity to do that. Pick Up the Six tells impactful stories about service, purpose, and impact. Our whole goal is to introduce the viewers to maybe people they haven't heard of that are going above and beyond themselves, doing things outside of themselves. And you can tell by the motif in here, man, we're just a fun show, but we're patriotic, and we're trying to, man, break down some of those barriers where when you flip on the news or you flip on TV, everybody hates each other and everything's terrible. And it's the way in which you guys are approaching decades and what you do here and what we're doing to Pick Up the Six to share those impactful stories that show that we're all connected to something a little bit bigger than ourselves.
I love it. I love it. Jodas, thanks for coming on. Make sure everyone checks out Pick Up the Six on NGBN TV network. Jodas, you're out. Let's go back to what the topic is we're talking about. Okay, game 1, the Ravens versus the Chiefs. Lamar Jackson looked average at best. I mean, he is the MVP, and there's no doubt about that. But during this game, he was subpar. Like Jodas said, all he had to do was be himself. I say that a lot with Geno Smith for the Seahawks. That's my team. I like the Hawks because I live in the Northwest. And all Geno, he was not an A quarterback and he was not an F quarterback. He was a C quarterback. And that's all he needed to do, in my opinion, was just be a C quarterback. Don't go above and beyond. Don't try to be the hero, and just don't be terrible. Just be a C level work. Just do 70-75% of your best, and that's good enough for the Hawks to win. And that's Lamar. He was just subpar. One of the things that people were really hoping for, I know a lot of people, especially the Harbaugh family, was obviously Jim Harbaugh won the NCAA championship with Michigan, and they were looking for his brother to win with the Ravens. So that would have been a great storyline, but that's not going to happen due to the fact that the Ravens took a dump on themselves. Really, really chippy throughout the whole game. And where they were, the Turner, Bazinet said, Justin Tucker, not Turner, you confused me. Tucker had his helmet and footballs right at the goal line, which he's not even supposed to be over there on that side of the field warming up. What's he doing? Warming up for a 1-yard kick? I mean, that's just stupid to be right there. And he's obviously the greatest kicker in the history of the game. There's no argument about that. And they were the thing with that is am I crazy, or am I the only one that noticed that Kelsey, the tight end, he's allowed to taunt all he wants with the stupid first down things, and he's allowed to put the ball down where he wants. And he's, they obviously have this storyline where he's the heel from WWF. Heel just means he's the bad guy now, the villain. And he was allowed to do anything. And anyone else that sort of made any sort of movements or taunting, which I still don't understand the rule on that, is they were getting penalized. And I don't understand the NFL rule of you can't taunt there, but if you get an interception, the entire defense can go all the way to the end zone and do some sort of scripted, we're in a canoe dance or something like that. Isn't that taunting? If someone can explain that one to me, I'd love to hear that as well. Now we have 2 weeks of Taylor Swift. And I know Jenna's going to get pissed at me because she loves Taylor Swift, old T-Swizzle. And I like your music. She's great. I'm no Swiftie. Yes, Roberson, we know that you think Swiftie rules. You went to her concert. We get it. And she's great. But man, it's going to be 2 weeks of just bombardment of this. And, they were already saying how it looks like Joey B is going to try to hire her for his campaign because it's kind of amazing / sad. They're saying that 1/5 of the voters can be swayed by her. And the fact of the amount of money, Jenna, I'm going to have you pull that up in a second, of the money she's brought into the NFL since she started attending games in September is outstanding. Jenna, do you have that photo? $331.5 million equivalent brand value Taylor Swift has generated for the NFL and Chiefs. $331.5 million for everyone listening on Spotify, Amazon, Google, and Apple. So that is insane. $331 million. That is insane, just that her brand is brought. Just because she's bringing over 10 billion Swifties, of course, Roberson's leading the way, and Jenna's right behind. But that is just absolutely insane that she has that much power. So I'm not a big fan of that. I don't understand. And then game 2, the Lions, after we talk about the Lions, Jenna, then we'll go to commercial. Lions jumped out to an early lead. This one looked like it was over at half. I think it was like 21-4 or 3 or something like that. And then the second half was just terrible. The Lions could not catch a pass. I mean, we're talking, there were some hard catches, but there was a lot of them that were just right in their hands. And these guys are not high school JV wide receivers. These are NFL wide receivers. I mean, they should catch the ball. That's literally what they're paid to do. And then you had the Dan Campbell, the head coach of the Lions. I think he went for 3 or 4 fourth downs. And one of them, like Jodis was talking about, I think it was the end of the first half, where he could have kicked a field goal. I think it was like a 25-yard field goal. He could have kicked a field goal and been up by 17. Okay, you're thinking 17 is not a lot of points. It's not a lot of points, but it's 3 scores. Okay, 2 touchdowns and a field goal. That's huge. That means 3 times you have to not be able to stop them. Okay, you don't have to be able to stop them, and they have to score. So that was a really bad move. And, it's one of those that I love this guy. I think he's great. I would love to play for him. He's one of those guys that you could tell he drinks about 97 cups of coffee and probably put some C4 pre-workout in it as well. But, dude, someone's got to be a handler of this guy. And it's got to be able to say, hey, you have to be able to understand 3 scores is better than a big momentum shift, because once you do this, and the Chiefs were getting the ball at the second half, that is a big, big momentum turner. And like we talked about earlier, momentum is a wild, wild thing in sports. If you want to talk about this or other topics, we're going to talk about video difference of people born in the 70s, 80s, 90s to 2000s. Just go to NGBN TV. Click on the Rubio Method. You'll see a nice little yellow button, and you can come join me. We can talk about whatever you'd like to talk about or the topics that I have. On that note, Jenna, I'm out.
You have been watching The Rubio Method, a show on the NGBN.TV network.
We cannot wait any longer. Men are in need of community, brotherhood, and a place to call home. The time is now, and that place is NGBN TV. Powered by men just like you, dedicated to launching a one-of-a-kind streaming TV network for men in their 40s, 50s, and 60s. Our goal is to inspire, entertain, celebrate, educate, and support men. The NGBN TV sneak peek is launching January 29th. We need you on this journey with us. Ad rates at NGBN TV will never be this low again. So join our movement on NGBN.TV and contact us today. NGBN TV, a network for men in their 40s, 50s, and 60s. Coming January 29th.
Custom printed shirts, embroidery, promotional products. Artbeat's dedicated staff is ready to get to work for you.
Let's get going, gang.
Our Idaho-based business has specialized in custom apparel for more than 35 years. It doesn't matter where you are. Give us a call or order online. We ship to you nationwide.
Look, Elizabeth, another online order.
Keep up the good work, Mom.
Artbeat is your best choice for screen printing and embroidery. Bring in your own design or let our graphic design team create one for you.
What do you think of this design, Spencer?
Awesome as always, Grandpa.
Custom printed shirts are our specialty. We have over 35 years experience, so we know what it takes to do it right. Using our automated screen printing presses, we make sure you get exactly what you want without delay.
Savannah, we're almost done with this order.
That's great. We'll get it shipped out today.
Do you need cool stuff to promote your business, club, event, or family? We've got pens, caps, bottles, mugs, toys, bags, and so much more.
We're family owned and operated.
We'd love to have you join us on the MD and Chef Team Show. I'm Chef Michael, culinary nutrition expert, and I'm joined by my beautiful wife, Isabel, medical doctor and suicide survivor.
Yes, I was dropped into that world 10 years ago. And what I've come to understand is that we're focusing on the wrong thing, the downstream event of mental illness. We should be focusing upstream to prevent the downstream event. And that's what we do.
So come join us on the MD and Chef Team Show.
Focus up. I'm talking to you, Whitney out in Harrison, Idaho, owner of One Shot Charlie's, my heaven, my favorite place on the planet. Once you guys this summer get up to Coeur d'Alene Lake, just go on the southeast corner, little town called Harrison. It's population 267 during the winter and about 2 million during the summer. And everyone's at One Shots. It's a phenomenal, phenomenal place. They do a great job. And their food by Malcolm, oh my gosh, it's very, very tasty. You just saw an ad by MD and the Chef. That's another great show on the NGBN TV network. They are from New Zealand, so I'm going to contact them the day before the Super Bowl so they can tell me who won. Because they're a whole day ahead of us, and you need to watch their show. It is called MD and Chef. It's on the NGBN TV network. It is absolutely so good. It's really good for your soul, number one. And number two, I will bet you money. I don't know how I'm going to get it to you, maybe Venmo or something like that. I bet you $1. There's zero chance you can watch those two on camera and not just start smiling. I love watching the show because they always put me in a good mood. And they always yell at me because I don't have a vision board and all that stuff. Yes, I am cheap, Jenna. $1. That's what in your Canadian money. What that's a toonie or loony? How much is that there? Is that more than $1 for you, Jenna? I don't even know. Your toonie or moony or loony or whatever kind of money it is. Almost a toonie. So your dollar's worth more than mine. Okay. Yeah, I know vision boards are awesome. All right, so let's go back to the next topic before I get started getting yelled at in Canadian. There's a video that's been going around on X, formerly known as Twitter, that I've seen 100 times. And every time I see it, it makes me laugh. And I told Jen, I said, I'm going to put this video on and we're going to talk about it. It's basically the difference of people born in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s. Videos of the 80s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s. Jenna. I love that video. For those that are listening on Spotify, Apple, Google, Amazon, all those things, it's basically this grungy guy, he's got I'll say a punk rock hairdo. You know, he's probably in his 30s or 40s or 50s. I can't tell. I don't know what ages at that point. Once you're past 21, no one really gives a crap. He's got a jean jacket on. He's walking down his hallway. It says born in the 70s. The guy hits his shoulder on the doorway and he just keeps walking. Born in the 80s, hits his shoulder on the doorway and he looks back at the doorway and he's like, what's up? Born in the 90s, hits his shoulder on the doorway, keeps walking, and just to himself says like, oh my God, what an idiot. And then born in 2000s, he's walking through the doorway, hits his shoulder, falls down on the ground, takes a selfie and puts, I am a victim. So very, very funny. I wanted to know what your thoughts are on the whole victim mentality and what is the difference between people born in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and 20s. Jenna says 100% true. I agree 1 billion %. I was born in the 70s, and I think I want to know, like, when did the softness actually begin? I remember my mom, who did a great job, shout out to Debsters, raising by a single mom, raising me, but her directions were just basically, okay, during the summer, you go on your bike. I had a sweet Mongoose bike. It was great, BMX all the way. And I would go, and she'd just say, be home before the streetlights were on. This is obviously pre-cell phone and things like that. Or I'd go to my buddy Mason's or Todd's, and we'd go swimming until your feet bled, on the ground, because they didn't have this nice, I don't know what material they have on pools nowadays, but it was just concrete or asphalt. I'm not a construction dude. I don't know what the hell they put at the bottom of pools. But when did the softness begin? And I was thinking about it. And was it during the 80s when they started doing like participation trophies, and like where everyone got a participation trophy where you just, hey, you participated in the sports, okay? And then there it is. Jenna's saying, overbearing parents, my child is the best, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I at some point you need to tell your kid, you're just not good. And here's the reason why. I tell my youngest, Damon Dale, he's 12 and he's small right now. He hasn't really hit a growth spurt. I tell him, okay, you need to be tougher and stronger and smarter than every other basketball player because you're not a giant. I mean, we literally call him Hasbulla because he is so short. And it's one of those things that he has to learn, okay, you're not Yao Ming. You're not going to be the guy who's doing a hook in the middle. You're not Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Jim Skourounos is born in the 60s. If you're not bleeding, you're not hurt. Yeah, 100%. And I think it's going back to that way. Dave Bradley, just finished my haircut. Not a problem. You have. Thanks for that, Dave. I appreciate that. See, so Dave was a tougher generation now. The 2000s might go, Dave's making fun of my bald head. And I look at myself and go, I got a great looking bald head. Speaking of that, I think I told Jenna this. I don't know if I told you guys. I was in Staples getting some office supplies or whatever. And some dude, one of the workers, looks over and goes, I got to give you a compliment. And it's going to come off kind of weird. I said, oh, okay. He goes, you have a beautiful shaped head. I said, thank you? Like, how do you respond to that? And I mean, I don't think he thought I was attractive, if you know what I'm saying, but he did. He was like studying my head, and we were like 3 feet apart, and he's just looking at my head, and he goes, you got a beautiful shaped head. I said, oh, okay, man, you go do you. And so, but that was kind of a nice compliment. So when did the softness actually begin? I think it started in the 80s when everyone had to get a participation trophy. I'll tell you right now, where I live, they still do, 1958 is close enough, Dave, still do participation trophies where I am at. David Bazinet, born in the 70s, had to deal with Vietnam veteran father and mother who told it like it was. Yeah, so you really heard it. I guarantee you did, David. And so what happened was they still do participation trophies where I'm at. I'll tell you right now, and a lot of you are going to hate me for this. I don't care. You can tell me if you want. My participation trophy for where my kid gets that, right in the trash. Okay, or I just tell them leave it there. You give it to someone else. You don't get a trophy for participating. That doesn't count in my house. It doesn't work like that. If you're not giving 110% effort, okay, we're not going to have it. Parents stop teaching that life is tough. They exasperate the victim role. Yeah, the victim role is huge. You get points for being the victim right now. Okay, and the more victim you are in today's society, the more points you get. Like if I would get points because I'm a POC, a person of color, so to speak. I don't know if my baldness or lack of hair would be a victim thing or not. I'm thinking maybe it would. Okay, and then I came from a single house. Yeah, parents are divorced, but I am a college grad, so that knocks points back on or off. Because that's not a good victim thing. So the more victim points you have, the better it is. And that's what Jim's saying. And that Scarano out in New Jersey, yeah. And so that's one of those where the more victim points you have, the better. And then I was thinking about this, like even the bottled water. Like how many of you grew up just drinking from a hose and it was no big deal? I mean, and don't get me wrong, sometimes the water tastes a little funky, but it was just that's the way hose water tasted. It was hot, you were thirsty. No one had a $75 Yeti cup or a Stanley cup or whatever the hell they have now where, oh my God, I got to fill it with filtered water. It was you drank out of the hose. It tasted somewhat like cement and hot kind of funk, but it was refreshing. I can't even tell you how many wiffle ball tournaments I had in the backyard and we just set up the water thing. Nana Mona says we were not taken to the hospital for stitches, just a bandage. Yeah, 100%. I mean, I don't think that was a thing. I don't even think, was emergency care rooms even a thing back there? I know they had emergency rooms, but now what do they have, like the emergency care? Is that what it's called? I just know it's not like the emergency room. It's kind of like the hybrid. It's not like you're dying, but it's you broke your shoulder or something like that. I don't even know what the hell they're called now. And then here's the one that Jenna says people are going to get really pissed off. Do we need to bring back bullying? Do we need to bring back bullying? Because back in those days, you used to get bullied all the time. But now I was reading a study on this where there was bullying more in the 60s, 70s, 80s, obviously, then the 90s kind of started to sprinkle away. But now you have, and I know this network's about health and suicide prevention, now you have more people seeing therapists nowadays and that are suicidal, but they're not getting bullied. So does it start way back when, and do we need to go back to the bullying? Jim Scarano says, no helicopter moms in the 70s, lunch break is over. Yeah, 100%. Have fun teaching, Jim. But I remember growing up, I used to get bullied all the time. I was the big fat kid. Okay, I got it. And you know what that caused me to do? Be better at athletes. Yeah, hose water didn't kill anyone, David Bazinet. Maybe we can have Doc Hogan do an Irish study on that one. But I'm pretty sure no one died from hose water. It tasted like crap. But when that's all you had no Fiji water, which is fantastic, by the way. That would be one of those things where you just did it. And so do you need to bring back bullying? I remember one of the stories that I've talked about before. Growing up, we'd always have Christmas Eve at my Uncle Chubb and Aunt Kathy's condos house. It's huge Christmas family dinner. We'd go over there and there'd be probably 50, 60 people there. Go over there and we'd always go to my cousin Mikey's room. Shout out to Mikey in Franklin, Tennessee, if he's listening or watching. And we would go there and he would, Rubio, come on in, come on in. All my cousins were 4 years, 6 years, 8 years older than me. And they were obviously bigger than I was. So I was like 12, 13, 14, 10 all throughout the sweet spot of Christmas. They would bring me in the room, shut the door, lock it, and then they would proceed to just beat the crap out of me. And this will just happen every Christmas Eve. Was I afraid to go to Christmas Eve? No. I wanted to see my cousins, and it was Christmas Eve. Everyone's pumped on Christmas Eve. And did I know I was going to get my ass beat? 1,000,000,000%. But it made me better because it made me tougher. And you had to learn how to take a punch, lower your head, do what you got to do. And one of the sweetest memories I have in life, okay, one of the sweetest memories I have in life is one Christmas Eve. And Jenna, when I'm done with this story, we can go to commercial. One Christmas Eve, I was about 16 and I finally blossomed. I was a late bloomer. I finally grew into my body. And at 16, I was probably, let's say 6'1", 6'2", probably about 260. And I remember they called me into the room. I locked the door and I proceeded to beat the hell out of each one of them. It was like a Royal Rumble in the 80s and 90s WWF where I literally stood by the door and boom, I was knocking them down. I was jumping on, I was putting my thumb in their eye, putting my thumb in other places that shouldn't be. And I was just beating the hell out of them, hitting their ribs, doing everything I can, breaking their fingers back, doing as much as I could. And it was wonderful. It was like that scene from the movie The Bronx Tale. Roberson, I got bullied by the older guys of the football team, honestly made me stronger and gained their respect for standing up for myself. Yeah, I've got my older boys that are both in college football. I tell them the first thing, if someone tries to pick a fight with you, you go full speed at them and fight with them right out of the gate. Because if you don't, on a football team especially, they're going to take advantage of you. They're going to know, okay, this kid's a wuss. We can take advantage of him for full thing. One of my best friends in the world, Andy Myers, who played football at UCLA with me, he was known for being the team jerk. I mean, he has the record for Pac-10 personal fouls, RIP Pac-10, RIP Pac-12. And he would literally, anyone that was new on the team, he would go beat the hell out of them on purpose, just to see if they would fight back. Okay, just to see if they would fight back. If they did fight back, he loved them. I mean, they were like family to him. But if they didn't fight back, he would never speak to them again. Never speak to them again. So in my thing, do we need to bring back bullying? I think I do. I know it's a controversial take. If you want to talk to me, go to NGBN TV, click on the Rubio Method and click on that yellow button and we'll have a great conversation. There it is right there. Talk to Rubio Live. Go to Rubio NGBN TV, hit the yellow button and we'll talk. On that note, Jenna, I'm out.
You have been watching The Rubio Method, a show on the NGBN.TV network.
We cannot wait any longer. Men are in need of community, brotherhood, and a place to call home. The time is now, and that place is NGBN TV. Powered by men just like you, dedicated to launching a one-of-a-kind streaming TV network for men in their 40s, 50s, and 60s. Our goal is to inspire, entertain, celebrate, educate, and support men. The NGBN TV sneak peek is launching January 29th. We need you on this journey with us. Ad rates at NGBN TV will never be this low again. So join our movement on NGBN.TV and contact us today. NGBN TV, a network for men in their 40s, 50s, and 60s. Coming January 29th.
Let's get going, gang.
Our dedicated staff is ready to work for you. ArtBeat specializes in custom apparel. Call us or order online. Free shipping nationwide. Custom printed shirts are our specialty, and we make sure you get exactly what you want. Bring in your own design or let our team create one for you. Promote your business, event, or club with pens, caps, bottles, mugs, and more.
Creating cool since 1985.
There we are. Live TV. What do you know about that? All right, focus up. I'm talking to you, Randy Chevrier. I can't ever pronounce your name. And Nasty Sheldon Napples. I can't pronounce your last name either. They have the Ride show with Chevy and Nasty tonight at 10 p.m. Pacific time on the NGBN TV network. You can just look up the Ride with Chevy and Nasty on YouTube as well. They do a very, very good show. They talk about sports, life. Sometimes they talk about food, but their food tastes are just so bad because they're Canadian and they like the poutine. But they did order me some poutine from here in Lewiston, which I didn't even know we had. And it actually wasn't that bad. But yet again, it's got no color. It's got no flavor. I don't know what's happening, but it was a little bit tasty. But like I said, poutine to me, if you haven't had it, it's just, I think it's French fries with some sort of gravy on top. And then they throw cheese curds on it as well. So it's obviously not the healthiest thing in the world. Dave Bradley would not probably be eating it because he's a health guy, but it's good. Like, I think Canadians eat it because they got their winter weight, because the moose and the bears will kill them in the winter. So you need sustenance in order to survive the Canadian winters. And that's where you get poutine. I think you eat it for layers and slash. I think you can kind of put it on your body like a copper tone, and it creates some sort of a glow or crust on you. I'm not exactly sure. It's okay, but it's not. These guys love it. And they also have a 300-pound poetry segment, which is quite entertaining. I don't know how they do it. And I can't believe they're both 300 pounds because they don't look 300 pounds. They look about 290, 295. But they're built very, very well. The Ride with Chevy and Nasty tonight at 10 p.m. Pacific time. It's a great, great show. I've got about 7 minutes left because I know Ian really wants us to try to start hitting the 57-minute mark. So I've got 3 topics that I want to talk about. I don't know if we'll get to all 3. Number 1, support your local arts. This past weekend, or not, last Thursday, I went to a winery. Don't make fun of me. I don't like wine. My wife loves wine. Jenna always yells at me, says I don't like the tannites or whatever the hell it is. I can't remember what she always yells at me about, but it's got more pop or taste to it. Tannins. Thank you, Jenna. It's just not good. It would be good if red wine, if you could put like in a slushy or something. It needs to be cold. I don't want any hot beverages besides a coffee. And I'm not British, so I don't drink tea. I want to see a local play. And I know some of you are going to make fun of me for going to watch a play. I love plays. I don't give a 2 craps. I think they're great. I think they're fantastic. I've only walked out of 1 play in my life, and I paid big money for it. I was in Chicago, and I saw Hamilton, and it was the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. I know people think it's the greatest thing in the world. I thought it was a joke. I had never heard anything about it besides, it's the best play everyone's got to go see. And then you go out, we watch it, and it was in Chicago at Ola Theater, so I didn't fit into the seats. I was like fat guy in a little coat from Tommy Boy. You're funny, the moose will get a semen amount. I get what you're saying. And when I'm sitting in the seats, I can't fit. And all of a sudden, this dude comes out and he starts rapping. And he's dressed up at Hamilton. I don't know what's going on there. And he starts rapping, but it was like a really bad rap. Like it was like if you told 2 third graders to create a rap on Hamilton, that's what it was like. My name is Hamilton. And I looked at my wife, I go, are we being punked? Because I really thought it was a joke. But we stayed until halftime or intermission, whatever play people call it. And I said, we're getting the hell out of here because it was terrible. And so yell at me all you want. But I saw other plays I love them. I think they're great. And the play we talked about, and it was all local actors, which I was shocked because it was so good. And I said, there's no way these are just local people. These have to have been flown in from New York, LA, Chicago, wherever. But it was called I Love You, You're Perfect, Now Change. Jen, do you have that picture of the program? I Love You, You're Perfect, Now Change. I thought it was absolutely great. Yeah, there it is. And it was all Civic Lewiston Theater. My favorite skit was, Shouldn't I Be Less in Love with You? It was very, very good. So I don't know if they're traveling around or if you have a chance, but go ahead and support your local community and support your local plays. And like I said, if you want to talk to me about this in the next 3 minutes, you go to NGBN TV / the Rubio Method and make sure you let them know you're going to be on camera. The next thing I want to talk about, January 26th, sad day, 4 years ago, Kobe Bryant passed away. Not a good thing. I can't believe, number one, it's been 4 years. And then I think about it, everyone's talking about, oh, Kobe this, Kobe that, Kobe that, Kobe this. I was talking to Jenna during the week. Why do we always wait till someone's dead to tell them how much you like them or how much you appreciate them or how fantastic you are? They did the same thing with John Madden like a couple years back, where the guy goes down, he does this, and then everyone has these memorials about him. Obviously, you don't want to see a memorial. Wow, I wouldn't mind seeing a memorial of my life. That'd be kind of cool. But why do we wait until after someone's dead? Yeah, rest in peace, Mamba, Roberson says. Why do we have to wait? So my mission for you, my goal for you today is literally just text someone or send a video message on your phone and just say, hey, just want to know, love you, I appreciate you. I think you're doing a hell of a job at blank, whatever they're doing. Maybe they're doing long snapping lessons in Houston. Maybe they're working on a corporate account for you. Whatever they're doing, just give them a little video message. Make sure you just let them say, hey, you're doing a great job doing what you're doing today. I just wanted to say that. You don't even have to respond. Just send a text. I want to know that I appreciate you. I want to know that I think you're doing a hell of a job in this field. Whatever you're doing, make sure you send one person a message. Everyone can send one person a message. You're not that busy, okay? Do it while you're on the toilet. Do what you got to do. Just make sure you crop it out a little bit. That'd be a little bit weird. I mean, but Kobe Bryant's death was one of those things. I remember the moment I saw it happen, because I saw it on TMZ and I was like, okay, this can't be real. It's on TMZ. And it was one of those, there's two other times in my life where I remember exactly where I was. When the Challenger exploded, I was thinking it was in 5th grade, and the space shuttle exploded. And when I found out that Magic Johnson had Henry IV, I call Henry IV HIV, get it, Henry IV, okay? So that's when I remember those two moments very, very specifically, and I think Kobe, 9/11, yeah, that's a good one, Jen, I forgot about that one. 9/11, so at 4, Kobe, 9/11, Magic Johnson, and the Challenger. Those are the 4 that I remember the most. And to me, it's one of those things, let's not have another one of those in my last 45 seconds of the show. Your mission today, text someone, even better, send them a video message. No more than 30 seconds, guys. 10 seconds, 5 seconds. Just, hey, just want to let you know you're having a great day. I think you are wonderful. I think you did a great job. Okay. We're running out of time. I don't have time for the bottom line, but I will put it up real quick. The bottom line, really quick. Sit, be conscious, and really listen, like Monahan said. With the bad, number 2, there's always some good. You just need to find it. And 3, look around and see all the greatness, then talk about it, just like we said. And I did it with 5 seconds to spare. You guys did a great job. For everyone in the back, this is Rubio. I'm out of here.
Thanks for watching The Rubio Method on the NGBN.TV network. Be sure to spread the word, and don't forget to subscribe, like, or follow on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, Google, Amazon, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook.